Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Hardcore Challenge Live, the official webcast of the Hardcore Challenge, the pinnacle of fantasy football competition. First off, let me start by addressing earlier in the evening's drama, and I apologize for my earlier video, which was... Thank you, Stinky. Thank you. I walked in, wasn't that enough? But to address the earlier situation, obviously, those of you in the NFC saw the post yesterday. Some of you in the AFC may have caught it if you were, keeping a closer eye on the NFC than maybe some of the others. But there was a post on there by one of the new owners, Craig Chansey, who obviously takes serious offense to what is going on in the NFL right now and wants to leave the league, which is fine. What have you. I don't care. Leave the league. Who cares? So, you saw what I said. I said, that's fine. We have a replacement for you. Bye. And bye was not enough. Obviously, he wanted to come back in and... Mr. I want to leave the league and I'm going to turn my back on the NFL. We didn't turn your back on the NFL too damn long, did you? Because you had to come back in and see if somebody had a comment to the post you left on there. Now, leaving the NFL would be leaving a comment, logging off, and never returning. That would be leaving. Not leaving a comment, coming back to see who left comments on your comment, then trolling, then dropping players, and trying to cause me issue. Listen, I wasn't out there taking a knee. I haven't come out and made a stand one way or the other. So, James, you should. Maybe you can pick a better team than the Cowboys to support. I think it's just total karma. Both of the Cowboys fan owners are 0-3, so just saying, strictly statistical. So we have a new owner in the league. Jason is his name. He's the new owner of Achilles, and it's unfortunately the time we live in right now. It is what it is. So one guy left. He was a new guy that came to the league. He wasn't here but a second anyway, and it's unfortunate. He was doing good. He was 3-0 out of the gate, and currently third on the power ranking. So Jason's getting to take over a fairly solid team, and good luck to him. It is what it is. If one owner passed away in the NFL, the team wouldn't just fold. They would appoint a new owner, and the team continues on. So, it is what it is. Because this owner's dead in my eyes, and we need to replace him, and we're moving on. There's football to be played, and I'm not getting into this political garbage. I'm not getting into it on my other show, and I'm sure the hell ain't getting into it here. So, we got fantasy football to talk about. Hardcore Challenge, another stellar week, week 3. And there was a shakeup. There was a little shakeup around the league. And let's get in here. Let's start with the game of the week. It was a very high scoring game of the week. I can't say it disappointed. It was 176 to 148. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood took down Knox Vegas Anarchy. Sorry, Kevin, I had to put the spotlight on you. And you didn't do bad. A fairly respectable score at 176 to 148. It was a high-scoring game. But Tom, the defending champ again, moves on, remains undefeated, sweeps through his new division, and, man, I guess we got to watch out. That's all I can say. I guess we got to watch out. Tom is looking strong again. Sorry, I apologize. My computer is being crazy. So, with Tom winning the game of the week and taking down Knox Vegas Anarchy, one of our new owners, who is looking like they're stepping up. Although they're still sitting in second at 2-1. They're obviously not dead in the water. There remains only one other unbeaten team, and that is Stinky Pinky, leader of the AFC Wild West. Now, last week, we didn't get touched on it on the show because I'm not even sure what day it happened. But a stat correction came out, forced a tie between Stinky Pinky and King Salami. Obviously, it was a defensive correction. I went back into the stats and checked. It was a quarterback hit change that wasn't a quarterback hit before. And instead of a loss, King Salami grabbed a tie. Stinky Pinky still remains undefeated. Still holds a half-game lead over their bitter rival, Tama Tears, who I see going down to those two again. But Bleeding Green came out huge in this division with the gigantic Week 1 score, but they came back to earth quickly, and they've lost 2 in a row. So, in the AFC, your Great White North, currently, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, one of the only undefeated teams in the conference. Bison Broncos, the Stone Ponies, and Pale Horsemen are sitting at a 3-way tie, all at 2-1 in the Elite East. While the Big Dog is sitting at 0-3 trying to figure out what they're doing wrong. They're already 2 games out, 3 games in, behind the entire division. That's rough. Zeke and Destroy finds himself in the same boat as Beaver Street Roar, All-Pro Afro, and Silver and Black Attack, all sitting at 2-1 after coming off of victories for Beaver Street Roar and All-Pro Afro. I myself took a loss. Nice game, Joe. All-Pro Afro with the... your team just freaking killed it, man. I ain't gonna lie. They were... Were you the ultimate highest scoring game? 213, I believe, was the high score for the week. Yes. The high score for the week. Pack Attack is back. Corey's team had the highest score in the NFC at 191. There were 2 teams, however, that broke 200. Beaver Street Roar also broke 200 with a 202 game. So 2 teams broke the 200 in the AFC as Pack Attack is back in the NFC. Took down the arch rival who had dominated them, Knoxville/Oski Assassins, who has dominated them for years. Comes out and puts a stamp on his new division, the Elite East, and says sweeps through the entire first round of divisional games. So pretty impressive. Now, the Great White North was locked in a 4-way tie in the NFC coming into Week 3. And we see some separation now, obviously, as they had to play each other. As Skull Crushers and Vandalay Industries took the big step forward, they're 2-1. I Am Groot and Mob Adjacent, both of the ladies in our league, are sitting tied for last or tied for second, however you want to look at it, in the NFC Great White North. The Elite East, Knoxville Assassins is still only sitting 1 game back after taking the loss to Pack Attack is back in a big game. As Pack Attack is back, won 191 to 157. High scoring game. It looks like these two are the cream of the crop thus far in this division. Although, take it deep, Brian did get off the snide and got a win after dropping the first 2 games and keeps himself in the discussion. The Bears, bro, you're not looking good. 0-3, and you're chasing a team that's 3-0. So you're already 3 games out of the lead in your own division. It's not good when you're talking playoffs already early in the season, looking at only 10 games left. Another undefeated team, Mo Betta Butta. New owner, and looking stellar thus far, as another new owner, Ghostman, is right behind them, sitting at 2-1. Donkey Punch, former champ, sitting at 1-2, took a rough loss this week. As Renegade Misfits, playoff team from last year, Travis is just beat up with injuries, and he's hurting. So NFC, be looking for trades, I'm sure, from Travis to be hitting your inbox soon. He will be needing help. Now in the Dirty South of the NFC, Achilles was off to a stellar start. They swept through the division. However, we know what just happened. So he's out. New owner's in. 3-0. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what he can do. He's obviously going to play with somebody else's roster, their draft, and, I did already have a couple of you guys offer to switch teams and take theirs, but no, you're stuck with your crappy draft. You drafted crappy, you get to own it. So the new owner, Jason, will be taking over Achilles. Average Joe's right behind him at 2-1. The Bandits drop another tough one as the Dirt Dogs are sitting at 0-3. The Renegade Misfits are currently the last bottom of the barrel in the power rankings in the NFC, as the Big Dog is sitting bottom of the barrel in the AFC. Followed right behind by his cowboy buddy, Zeke and Destroy. Both of you are hugging it out in the cellar. Now, number 1 on your power rankings. The champ. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Sitting in the number 1. And one of our league OGs, Corey, owner of the Pack Attack, is back. Formerly Brett Favre, formerly Cheesehead. Never made the playoffs. Been in the league since 2010. Currently, he's 3-0 and is putting up mad points. Is this his year? Is he finally going to take Brad down? The assassins will fall finally. We will see. We will see. Is Corey finally going to make an appearance in Game of the Week? He almost made it last week. Almost made them Game of the Week, but I really thought the matchup of the new owner, Kevin, battling against Tom, both games ended up being great games. All 4 teams put up stellar points, and obviously either one could have been Game of the Week. But congratulations, Tom. Wins the Game of the Week for Week 3. We will unveil the Week 4 Game of the Week tomorrow and break it down. Currently, I am 3-0 in picking the Game of the Week, as I did pick Tom to beat Kevin. Just couldn't go against Tom. Just couldn't. And it was a smart thing that I didn't, because he's 3-0. And I'm 3-0 in my picks. So, Week 4 is now upon us. Everybody's going to start looking at moves they need to make, because a lot of you guys are in trouble. A lot of you are 1-2 and 0-3. So you're scrambling, especially if you're 0-3. So we got a lot of new owners. Let me explain 100% the trade process so that everybody understands it's crystal clear. Because this is probably the number 1 thing that's going to start happening here in the next few weeks. We've only had 1 trade so far, which I'm shocked. Although I've sent some out, so I know others have been flying around. Just haven't been any closed yet. All trades, no exceptions, require a 48-hour waiting period. 48 hours. So that means basically you have most of the week to pull that off. But if you're trying to get a guy that's playing the early game on Sunday, that means that trade needs to be posted before 1 o'clock on Friday. It's always been the rule. This is nothing new. That's why I just want to make sure everybody understands. So that means if you're trying to trade a guy now, and he's playing in the Thursday game, you're already screwed, because it's after kickoff, basically 2 days from now. So it's just the way it is. The reason this was put in place is to allow all owners, depending on whatever shift you work, whatever you got going on, to have a chance to put eyes on a trade before it is closed. So, this is a rule we put in years ago, because we used to allow game day trades where we would push trades right through before a game, but then there would be, maybe a guy lost because of that trade that got pushed through, and the trade wasn't necessarily on the up and up, and he didn't have a chance to weigh in on it, and, it's all in the name of fairness. So, as long as you plan properly and all the owners are aware that you need... So, if you're coming out of the week and you're wanting to make a trade for a guy that's playing on Thursday, you know that on Tuesday you need to be working your trade. And before, 8:30 on Tuesday night, Eastern time, you should have your trade in. It's that simple. As long as the owners you're working with, You just come right out and say, hey, man, I'm wanting to use this guy for Thursday. Let's get this done if we're going to do it. But if they're Sunday guys, you got most of the week to work with. You just need to have it in by Friday sometime, depending if they're a later and early game. So it's just all about planning. Now, we do allow draft pick trades. But I want new owners, I want you to keep in mind something. All you owners, old owners understand this. But the new owners, this is a little quirk, something that's specific to our league, so I want you guys to understand it. When you are trading draft picks, we have 5 keepers that we are carrying into the next season, and you will carry year to year. You have 5 keepers. That's your core team. One of those has to be defensive, but you're carrying 5. So, when we get to the draft of next year, you will have your keepers selected and locked a week before the draft. That is your core team. Now, when the draft goes live on draft day, those 5 keepers come off everybody's board. And they're sucked right out of the draft pool. Those are your first 5 rounds of the draft. So your actual first round pick that you will make is round 6. So if you are wanting to trade your 2018 first round pick in conjunction with a player for another guy's last pick, then you would be trading your 6th round pick, because in reality, that is your first round pick, because your first 5 picks are your keepers. I hope that makes sense. So when you're trading, if we see you guys do it, I will go in and correct it, and I will correct the trade. It's not that big of a deal. It just saves me the time if you guys go ahead and enter it in right to begin with. It's just easier that way. That way, when you process it, everything's done. The league saves it, and when we reboot next week, all of those trades are in, and your draft picks orders are all changed accordingly. So just keep that in mind. Your first 5 rounds are your keepers. So your first round pick is your 6th round pick. So if you are trading and offering up, your first round pick is your 6th round. Your second pick is your 7th. 8th is your 3rd, and so on and so on. So that is something I just wanted to make sure everybody's clear. So there's a 2-day waiting period. The VP and I have to approve all trades before they go through, and we will take emails and messages from anybody who opposes any trade. But the 2 of us, it comes down to our final, say, and that, if we can't agree to it, we will come right here live and call it an emergency meeting, and we will come on here and hash it out, because we're, I ain't Roger Goodell. This ain't no freaking dictatorship. There's money on the line, and everything must be on the up and up, which is why I was disgusted with what happened earlier. Because that's just not cool. If you have your own views, just take them, and it's fine. We all have our own views, but to me, there's no place for that garbage in football. And that's my honest opinion. So, and I can see the side of where people are pissed, and I can see the other side. I can see both sides of the argument. So, I'm not closed-minded and ignorant enough to not be able to understand, but for a league that's been going for 9 years and somebody that's only been in it for 3 weeks, when this has been something that's going for 9 years, that morphed out of 2 leagues that I had run for years before that. This is something that's a decade and a half in the building, and for you to come in 3 weeks into it and think you have the right to do anything is absurd. So, that's been dealt with, and we're moving on. Because we got week 4. And there's football to discuss. Tomorrow, game of the week, week 4, will be unveiled. Because we got some stellar matchups. As every team now is going out of their division and gonna have to start playing interconference play. So now you're gonna have to start playing some of the big boys in the other divisions. Everybody comes back into their division for the final 3 weeks to fight it out. And man, those last 3 weeks games are going to be awesome because I got a feeling it's going to come down to how teams finish out in their own division who makes the playoffs. So we're going to be building some division rivals. Some old ones will be renewed, and we'll be building some new ones this season. Oh, yeah. Stone, you got the chant, buddy. Eat your Wheaties. Are you ready for the challenge? Good luck. Game on.